Perfect. So first of all, everybody should have received a piece of paper like that. Yes, you confirm? Yes. Perfect. So I just want to showcase a little bit what we currently have and where we are going with all this. And there's also some very important information that will allow you to better support your own store. So the first thing that I want everybody to understand is about the academy that we're building. So right now, today, this morning, was a workshop where we had some academy members and some community members. So obviously there are different levels with different supports and different structures. So I just want to express what we currently have right now and what is the difference. So for the academy, it's really you are in a learning phase. You are not yet committed into making your store successful, but you are exploring the idea and you are understanding how Randmar works. Because Randmar, we are not a typical distributor. We like to do things differently, and it does take even some time for our own customers to understand the vision that where we're going. Right, so the academy, we're creating like one webinar per month, one workshop, like today, that's going to happen once every month. Every Tuesday now, we are doing some pop-up events where we want people to come, network or work on their own stores. That is happening every Tuesday, and we try to have different people from different industry to come and join us. Last time we were about like 10 to 15 people, and it was the second event, so we try to grow as we go. Now the other important factor is everything that all the product writing and all the AI tools that we are building for you guys, there is always a price on our end. Like AI is actually very expensive when you start looking into the real price. So every time we generate a picture, there is some cost on our end, and our philosophy is really to try to make it simple for the people that are doing drop shipping. Right, so dropshipping, we came up with a pricing structure that is fairly simple, and there's a fixed $10 shipping cost across Canada regardless of the size of the order. So we want to implement this philosophy also into the tools that we are building. So generating a picture costs about 60 cents for Academy members. Videos, because videos are going to become very important based on what I will show you right after. The cost of generating a proper video for marketing is going to be about $2. And then the Shopify product writing. So most of you have seen what we can do in terms of product pages. Like we are able to generate about 9 beautiful pictures that correspond to the SEO requirements. We're able to generate a proper description, and we can integrate all of this properly with all the SEO tools. So there are some costs associated with that. So that's why we also created the community. So yes, the community, you might see that $1,000, it's very expensive, but when you start looking at what is included, it starts to make sense. And the first thing is that all the media generation is actually free. So we had Vinny here that generated over 2,000 product images. They were all approved by Google Merchant Center. And if you look at 2,000 products times $10, it's actually very cheap for him. Specifically, like it's the first time I'm seeing that many products approved by Google Merchant Center. So that tells me that we're doing a good job with the product writing, right? And then when we will start talking about the advertising side, generating images for advertising, generating videos, it's actually content intensive. So managing all those will start to make sense. Also, those type of conferences that we're doing, they will happen once or twice every single month. And we have been consistent at doing at least once every single month. And if you are here, that means that previously you've paid either $100 to be part of that or $250. So there is value that people are willing to pay for to be part of what we are showcasing to you, right? And those events are obviously free for the people of the community. And we also have co-working events. Co-working, all this section is reserved as a co-working for the community. People can just come every single day and actually work on their store. Courses, we do have them available. Another thing that is important is every single week I make myself available to audit your stores and to give you some information. Right, so you have weekly tutoring class with me that fully understand how to succeed in this Shopify world. So I just want to put it out there to at least make that clear, the differentiation between the Academy and the community that we are building. Community, we call it the Founders Club. You've been the members who have been part of the Founders Club, they see the software improving every single day. They see the community being improved every single day. That's why it's called the Founders Club. It's because we are founding all of this at the same time as the community. Right? Questions, comments on this? We've been consistent at showcasing this information. So that's essentially the offer. Now that this is out of the way, the second picture is where we are going, and this is going to be very important for the talk of today, right? So we, Randmar, we are building what we call like an agency. As an agency, with those different advertising platforms, we are able to manage your campaigns on your behalf. So what that means is, right now, Google, they were the first one to approve us as an ad manager. So we're now able to create the software that we're building. We're able to create advertising campaigns, all done based on your Shopify store, your brand guidelines, and your logo. All of it automatically, so you actually don't have to learn anything about marketing, because it's actually very difficult. And that integration will apply to all the different platforms. All right, so it's going to be Pinterest, Snapchat, LinkedIn, TikTok, Microsoft, Meta, I'm not sure why it's not there, but Facebook. All of this requires our own expertise. You deal with an agency, chances are they will say, oh yeah, I'm very focused on Google Ads and let's say Microsoft, but I don't do Facebook. It's like, why? It's the same thing, but differently. It's just it requires a very niche expertise that we are developing. And furthermore, we are building an AI that will take care of that on your behalf. That is the philosophy. And now if you go on the other page, so the other page, essentially, those very recently, John joined our team right there. Most of the community members, you've met him. His job will be to work with manufacturers on your behalf, right? So manufacturers, they are able to create opportunities. They are able to reduce some of your costs. Some manufacturers that we've seen, they want to give you money to put on advertising. There are opportunities, and I'll come back to that in my presentation. But that section here tells you essentially why to consider those different manufacturers, what would be a winning strategy with each one of them, and what would be something to watch for, to be mindful about this brand. So yeah, that is mostly for the community, as your next step is actually to start doing advertising, right? Which we are all very excited for. Awesome?
Yeah.
Excited to be here this afternoon?
Yes.
Perfect. So I thank you, first of all, for being here. I appreciate the fact that you took the time to join us today. Some of you are from Toronto, Ottawa, different places, Toronto as well. So I appreciate you making the time to coming here. I value very much relationships, so I appreciate this connection that we can have that we do not get when we're in front of a screen, unfortunately. So let's get to it. So first presentation today, future of digital marketing. Then Danielle will do a presentation on Shopify sales channels. That will be kind of the bridge to the outside, but you need to understand digital marketing, like the future, where it's going. John will then do an introduction to one of those sales channels, which is Amazon. Some of you guys are interested into this. I recommend it as a last step, but what's important, it will gives you an overview of actually one of the strongest marketplace, and Shopify and ads platform are just like an easier marketplace, but same philosophy in general. So that talk will be very good. And after that, I will finish by explaining what is our advertising strategy for the tool that we are building. So let's start. Future of digital marketing. It's going to be so fun. All right, so today, what have you completed so far? Essentially, most of you guys have looked into the brand registry. So you've seen we have 75 brands, manufacturers that we represent, that we do have inventory. It's right there. You were able to already set up your Shopify store, so you have a visual that is working. You were also able to work on the storytelling. The storytelling is extremely crucial. It is your why you're building all this. Why would a customer go to your store specifically? They need to relate. The story needs to be aligned with their value. It's extremely important. And then all the pictures that will be generated will all be based on your story, your brand guidelines, your vision. And if your store is properly built around this philosophy, doing advertising is going to be even simpler because the AI will have a direction to follow. Then storefront, so you've worked on your homepage, your collections, different things like that. The community members, they all work on their policies. This is the most crucial part. It's like the most boring one, but if you want to be approved on Google Ads, on Meta, start to actually gather sales, your policies needs to be in place, and you need to understand the implication of those, including shipping. And we've even added another one in the course that is an AI policy. Everything that we do is AI driven. And all of you guys are responsible for the content that we are generating. So yes, Randmar, we are ultimately the one responsible for all this, but the reality is you are the front line of all this. You installed Google and YouTube, which is the first sales channel that we are targeting, and most of you have got approved. So what I like about specifically this requirements, getting Google and YouTube installed and approved, is because Google will ensure that all your policies are properly set up and that your store, all the guidelines are properly put to actually open up to the outside world. Right, so that part, like policies and Google and YouTube, will tell you if you're ready or not to start gathering sales. So technically, most people of the community, all this is done, and you are ready for the next step. So the workshop today for the community, I know we haven't actually spent some time doing it, but on the partner dashboard, the black portal, you have a red button called Academy. So you click on that, and then you will be asked to take care of your brand guidelines, your logo. Logo, very important, because it's going to be used for advertising. You know, when you watch a video, sometimes there's an icon. Well, that's your logo. You are also able to select a couple of items, do the Shopify product writing. I haven't gone in details yet, but there is a profit calculator tool that is included. When you search for an item on Randmar, there's a new button that allows you to see, okay, what type of margins can I expect to do with those different products. And furthermore, you want to actually build around this type of product. Very important. Last step, polishing your store, very important. So yes, you can be approved, but you still want to have this polishing touch that really match your story. So what's next? right? This is what is important to us, right? Gathering sales. Yeah, you have a Shopify store, but essentially it's like a store in the desert. There's no one there yet. So how do you actually gather your initial sales? So before I get into this, so the talk right now is the future of digital marketing. So there was a way of doing marketing, and now there is a new way. Specifically because AI was not really present not so long ago. Most of the advertising tools didn't even use AI in the bidding strategy. All of this is new, right? So my question to you is, all those different platforms, do you think they are using AI or not?
Yes.
For sure, right? Obviously. So if we just look at what Google is doing, which is the first channel that we're targeting, they are now creating a Google Performance Max. So what is that? Essentially, it's simply Google gathering a bunch of data and then trying to generate a conversion / a sale for you based off previous data. And you don't have to do anything. Then you have the a YouTube algorithm, exactly the same thing. You don't even know what's going to be the next video you will watch. It's all going to be AI that will say, you will watch this video now. And as a watcher, you just say yes, and you wait. And I've seen that. If you just look at the number of people who don't actually pay YouTube to not see advertising, it's like most of the people. So Google is really focusing on giving advertising through videos and through their platform. And even furthermore, I think I'm bringing, yes, it's there in my next slide. Good. So essentially, the old way of kind of creating a campaign was really straightforward. You create a campaign, you then have an advertising group, and in that advertising groups, you would select the keywords, put a couple of images, and then you would add some text, and after that you just say, okay, Google, this is exactly what I want. Those are the people that I wanted to target. It was very, very like niche. You knew beforehand who you would want to target. But now with Google Performance Max specifically, it's very different. You're actually creating a campaign and then adding all the images I said, the video I said, the text, and some search terms. Even that is actually changing. And Google, and that applies to absolutely all the platforms that we just showcased. Google will then have its own AI tool that will decide on which asset they will put at which moment to be able to generate the most sales. Well, for you, but mostly for them, because then they can really use absolutely all opportunities to push advertising in some shape or form. Which in your end, it's actually good because your cost technically would go down because you're using more of the broader of all that Google has to offer. But all done, what's important is that it's actually an AI that will decide that on your behalf. And that applies to our platform. So what's important here is actually for you to be able to properly generate the images, the videos, the text, and the different terms to be put into this Google AI smart bidding structure that will, after that, place it. Right, so, and that goes back to the tool that we're building, the Randmar app, where we are building the expertise of generating all those images, all those videos, and all those search terms on your behalf based on your store, your guidelines, and everything that your why, essentially, all of it. Now, next question. In all those different advertising platforms, are they building their own shopping experience for their customers? For sure, right? We're seeing it. TikTok Shop, like that has been there for like a couple of years now. Instagram, we know now you can actually buy through through Instagram. They don't like when you go on a Shopify store, when you go outside of their platforms. They hate that. So they've seen, okay, now with AI, building a store is actually very simple. Let's do it. And they are all doing it. It's just a matter of time before absolutely all of them will have a form of shopping experience involved into the platform. And that's where the talk that Danielle will get into is important. It's simply because Shopify is going to be your source of truth for all those platforms.
Don't spoil
They
it.
will all take your product information, your brand guidelines, all from Shopify directly. It is the expertise that they have developed, integrating with the outside world. Now, next step. So we know AI is going to be very much involved into absolutely everything that is digital marketing. Then shopping experiences are going to be embedded into the platforms. And for you guys that were there at my previous talk, I explained how the price structure of your products that you are actually selling. So if you sell a product at $100, in general, the reseller would make $30 off of that. Maybe less. Obviously, you need to include the advertising into this percentage. But if you have a corner store, you need to include rent, right? So you need to factor that in. Then distribution in general will take about $10 of that. The manufacturer, the item that you're selling $100 will cost the manufacturer to bring it to the Canadian territory $10 only. They are keeping about $50 profit just for them when you're selling a branded products. So then what's happening is John, he has a very strong expertise at working with manufacturers and saying, look, we have this opportunity for you, but we would need to bring your $50 instead of $50. We need you to make $30 instead. So we can take this $30 and put it as marketing for the reseller, for you guys to be able to keep your 30%, 20, whatever, to increase your margins. So this is the expertise that we are developing. And do you think that manufacturers want to be properly advertised on those platforms? Yeah, of course, yes. But do you think the old school resellers know how to develop the expertise there? None of them understand this. So that's why the only ones that you see there are always going to be the same ones. They are the only few resellers that understand this. And I can assure you, manufacturers are giving them market development funds to those extremely large resellers and retailers to be able to advertise on those platforms. So now Randmar, we are opening that up to you guys, because you guys, why you're here is based on all the Randmar customers that we have. There's only you that wants to leverage the opportunities that we are creating. Most of Randmar's customers are not interested in building a Shopify store. They are not they're interested in building technology-driven store and understanding AI. Most of them are actually more concerned about their retirements than growing their own companies. Unfortunately, this is the sad reality, right? So we've started to showcase some of your stores to some manufacturers, and I can guarantee all of them, they were all impressed by specifically the Shopify product writing, right? That's all we had to showcase anyways. That would provide value to them. It's like, wow, Randmar, you are able to provide that to resellers. I want to work with the reseller that will be the front end of the marketing marketing platform that you will be targeting, right? So do you understand the importance of the position that all of you currently have in all this, right? So Even some manufacturers, there are lines that we are not open with right now. We presented this tool and they are like, yes, I like what I'm seeing. I want to do more with you guys. So opportunities with manufacturers are started to be creating. And we haven't showcased them the advertising platforms and what we're about to do. They don't even know about this section yet. Once that is done, I can guarantee some manufacturers will say, give $10,000 to that specific reseller to advertise those few products. It will happen. I have seen it countless times, and all the printers and printing supplies industry, it all runs on opportunities, on discounting the product, even on Amazon. The Amazon resellers that are in the print industry, they get preferred pricing just to be there. It is just the reality where we're going to. Questions, comments on this? No, it's very, very important that you understand that. So this
is part of the community program?
Yes, in the community, John is available. He's working already. We've started the introduction, and he's already started talking with manufacturers that the community members wants to represent. And we're going to have very soon some discounted products available for them to be able to push.
If you look behind you, do you see that globe right there? That's a manufacturer that Randmar has hundreds of products. And I can send you something. I've outlined what discount is available now to community members. So it's a percentage. It's about 10% off. So you have an advantage when you go to market.
On the platform.
Yes, good.
Yeah, but that we are scaling this across the community specifically, right? So that is a manufacturer that has given that prior to showcasing the community. But this week we have a meeting with the manufacturer in question to showcase the community, what we're building here. The opportunities will be created, and they will all be reserved for the academy. Sorry, yes, for the community. Yeah. All right, so Shopify App Store. So, okay, perfect. I talked previously about a shopping experience, right? So all of those different platforms that are building a shopping experience for their own customers, they have an integration with Shopify. So I've mentioned that earlier in the presentation, where Shopify is going to be the hub where all the data will then be shared with external platforms. And all this happens through the Shopify App Store. So the first one that we've all made you install is Google and YouTube. Going through this process made you create a Google Merchant Center. It made you create a Google Ads account and a Google Analytics account. All this automatically linked with your Shopify store. So whenever you make an update to the product, either change pricing or you've uploaded all the images, the description change. Very soon there's going to be the data sheets available directly into your Shopify product page. All of this will automatically be synced with Google Shopping, Google Merchant Center. All of this will then be used for Google Ads. And that happens because Shopify, they have an app store, and all those different platforms that we are integrating your Google, your advertising account with Randmar is also, there is a bridge from Shopify to those software for syncing the information.
Yeah, I just have a question. Like, will you be able to make us approve by GMC, by Google Merchant Center? I don't know how far this is.
Sure. A community member wants to answer this question.
And you know, some first you can get disapproved. So
No, you will get disapproved.
fix whatever. Okay. Oh, I don't know how many chances.
Right, it took you two, so,
Yes,
right?
yeah, so it's, you know, I had medical language in it, and they didn't like that. So I had to remove that using the tool, which was helpful, and then it got approved. The other thing is I didn't set up I have conflicting shipping rates in the policies. So I had to remove that. And I didn't want to put my name or my phone, my personal phone number, but I had to kind of, sort of reconcile that. And then it got approved. So it was the three, so that's good.
And for some of the community members, we also provided some authorization letters as well, right? So we are there to support you and to ensure that you are approved, because even us, we use that as a metric to know if your website is ready for all the other ones afterwards. Right? So Microsoft, we are still exploring it right now. I'm pretty sure they have almost zero barrier to entry, but I know when we will get into Meta, Meta will have a similar barrier to entry to Google. So we'll get there in due time. But Meta, as you can see, this is the order that we're going to implement. I'll get into it in my next talk. All right. So Google and YouTube. Perfect. So then Danielle will be talking about Shopify sales channels. So yes, there are a couple of things I don't want to say anything there.
Thank you for not spoiling. Merci beaucoup, Ghislain.
By the way, do you guys have any questions or comments in where kind of digital marketing is going? I didn't went into how advertising will be created. I just discussed that AI will be a very important aspect, and that integrations is going to be a key component. And that's where you really need to focus. Cool?
Merci. Okay, so Ghislain talked about future of e-commerce, what the platform Shopify allows you to do, what you did today. I'm really gonna dummy down everything that he talked about and talk more about the Shopify theme, so where you get started and the different strategies around that. And of course, as he mentioned, we're gonna go through the different sales channels and why Shopify is super important. Okay, what is a Shopify theme? Shopify, the themes, is basically the skin of all your data. So your online identity. So you can have multiple identities online, and that's going to be translated to the consumer, to the customer, through the teams. So technical definition, so it's the pre-built templates around the storytelling that you have as a Shopify owner. So that's the UX, the experience, the user experience on your Shopify store. This is where you're gonna translate your own message online to the consumer. And just overall aesthetic. So it's gonna be typography, making sure that the styling is the same across your online store, and that everything is congruent so that it looks professional and that it builds trust with the consumer. So typography, color palettes, navigation menu, you can control that through the teams as well. Product workflows, the categories, all of that good stuff. I do mention HTML, CSS, so that's basically the code behind. Shopify uses something they call Liquid, and it's called Liquid because you can modify it, which is really awesome. Some of you, I showed you Sidekick. Sidekick basically modifies the Liquid. What that does is you can add some custom code on your storefront to create an aesthetic that you would want to translate to the consumer. A button, an image, some text, etc. Okay. Who interacts with the themes? So again, the theme is how you translate your own message to the consumer. So of course, the customer, they interact with the teams, they see exactly what your products are, the descriptions, what's your identity. You use it to translate the message. You can customize it with drag and drop directly on the Shopify, or you use the AI. I'm not going to mention developers anymore, because with AI, you can get rid of all the developers and use all that time and money and bring it down to zero with AI. But it is possible for developers to create more custom stuff on your platform. Okay, where to manage the theme? So at first, when you get started, you're able to generate a theme based on what you are selling. So I showed a couple of you guys as well, but when you're starting from scratch, you're able to describe what your company is and what your identity is to the Shopify AI, and it will create a template based on what you're giving him. So for example, if you're selling coffee, you can describe to the AI, I am a store that sells coffee to busy moms. And it will generate within minutes the complete theme for your business. So that means the collections, the menu, again, typography, colors, all that good stuff within seconds. You just need to describe with the storytelling who you are, what you're selling, and who you're selling to. A fun stuff about Shopify too is you're able to have 14 different drafts. So you can have 14 different sites for your own business for the exact same products. So that really enables you to try out different things, basically. Tamper. Okay, so when should you upgrade the theme? When should you change the theme? So first of all, store launch, of course, selecting something super basic, light theme. The speed score is extremely important for your website and extremely important for Google. So that means having really fast loading pages, images, all that good stuff. You want to really focus on that when you start. So that's when you choose your initial theme. After that, when you're going to have more experience, perhaps you have more products, you want a more effective navigation method, you're able to switch themes and have different menus so that the user experience is different based on the number of products that you want them to have access to. After, rebranding. So that's a really fun one. Let's say that Halloween is coming and you have like a special promotion, or you want to rebrand the whole website, but you don't want to fuck up everything that you did so far for your own brand identity, but you still want to have fun with like seasonality of selling. So you can create a brand new theme, make it orange and black and make it Halloween, and then just switch back to your initial theme when the season is over. You can do that for all. And something that's really fun about that too is usually when there's seasonality, the rebates come with it too. So you'll be able to customize everything based on rebates in those specific periods. Black Friday is huge for Shopify and just selling in general. Boxing Day, of course, too. The whole Christmas experience is really huge. So having multiple themes enables you to be fast, which is a really good advantage in the e-commerce world. I need to breathe. Okay, last thing, tech optimization. So let's say, again, you have a Shopify website, it works, but you want to experiment. You want to add maybe a different button, or you want to add like different stuff on your page to maybe optimize for specific behaviors for customers. Well, you can test it out on a different theme and not even publish it, just really test, see if it works, publish it. If it doesn't, go back to previous versions, etc. Okay. Why does the theme matter? So I did mention like Shopify store speeds. So having a really good website basically means having conversions on your website. That's the most important thing. You want sales, so you want to optimize for converting people into customers. So having a really good Shopify store with the basic themes. Shopify optimizes all the themes for converting. So it says here, every 1 second delay in page load time reduces store conversions by 7%. 1 second. One image that takes too long to load, the customer is gone, you lost the sale. So having a high-speed website is super important. And the highest speed websites are the default ones by Shopify. Okay, free versus paid. Why? What's the difference? Should I pay for a theme? Is it really that advantageous? Let's see. Okay, so initial cost. First of all, the free ones, they're really, really good. Shopify, they want you to make money most of the time. The first 3 months with Shopify, it's $1 investment. They give you really high quality themes for free. So initial cost, really good. Paid and premiums could go up to $400 a month. That's huge. After that, built-in CRO tools, customer conversion rates. So basically adding native swatch, upsells, timers, those are like apps or special buttons on the website to convert more viewers into customers. That's not native to free themes, but you can add third-party apps which are also free. But anyway, when you're starting, those are not the difference makers about making a sale. So after navigation structure, the basic drop-downs, design flexibility, pretty standard. It's really not, like you can basically do everything with a free theme, with AI and Sidekick, and maybe perhaps later when you know more about your customer and the way that they navigate through your website, maybe then is a good idea to go to paid, but when you start, free is enough. Okay, so these are the speeds. I mentioned that the speeds are super, super important. All the free ones are optimized for speed, which is really what you want. And the people that you're competing with, usually like the legacy ones, their speed is horrible. So you really want to have that advantage compared to the legacy brands to have the high speed themes, high speed websites. And yeah, it does mention like the reason why it's so fast is because the code behind your website is really light. So there's higher speeds for your website.
I just have a question about that. So in developing the website based on recommendations, but I also added code into it, does that slow it down? Like based on where things are?
Did everyone hear that question? Yeah. So it might slow it down, but not like it's not going to slow it down heavily. The bulkiest thing is not necessarily like adding 2, 3, 5, 10 lines of code, because a website has hundreds and thousands of lines of code. So adding a couple of lines is not going to make a difference. Is adding complete custom sections. That's so let's say like one custom page. Completely custom page when you have 4, and depending on what you add on it. So if you had like really heavy images that are not dynamic, or really heavy videos that are not links to, let's say, YouTube, those are going to slow your site down. But what you did, the speed is still good. Okay.
If I can add there real quick.
Yeah.
Sidekick, the AI tool that you use to add those, understand very well how not to slow page down. So the third-party theme in general, they will just build it for, okay, what is a customer wants, we'll add that feature that for you may be irrelevant. But if you ask Sidekicks to do it, well, Sidekick will actually build it based on all your code that is already into your theme. Right? So everything will be tailored to you in consideration of this page speed.
Merci, Gisela. Okay, that's about the Shopify themes. So now about Omnichannel, the different sales channels with Shopify. So first of all, like Ghislain said, Shopify, we chose Shopify because it connects to everything. Shopify is the brain that takes all of the data and will communicate with all the different marketplaces, channels, ad channels, etc. So even if you don't have a website, Shopify is useful as an ERP, just database behind your complete operations. So central database, when you add products to Shopify with Randmar, let's say, through the Shopify app, it connects to absolutely everything else. So you add the products, it's going to connect to Amazon, it's going to connect to Google, it's going to connect to Meta, it's going to connect to everything, and it will sync all that information as well. And so when it pushes that way for the products, it goes the other way as well. So when you receive orders from all these different marketplaces, all that information trickles back to Shopify and then to Randmar, where, of course, we do the fulfillment behind. Yeah, for sure.
Just in terms of so we added Google Ads and YouTube. So for the YouTube business account, you have to have 1,000 subscribers to do the shop.
Yeah.
Any suggestions about that?
Yeah, that's going to be like different marketing strategies to get subscribers. There's a bunch of different ways. In life in general, you can pay for speed. So of course you can pay to have subscribers, but also you can grow organically and gain those subscribers. That's going to come with time. It's always time or money for speed. So marketing essentially.
Essentially, we are developing the expertise of generating videos under the app. So we've already seen that YouTube is may become extremely important, and we've seen it just to upload videos to Google Ads, we need to pass through the YouTube API. So we're just by generating videos for Google Ads, we're going to start generating content for YouTube, right? So it's, but all this, we're kind of learning. It won't change the fact that you still need 1,000 subscribers. So as Daniel mentioned, you either pay or you actually build it organically. But all this we'll experiment with you guys, with the founders too.
And if I can add one more thing about Shopify too. So Shopify connects to absolutely everything. It does not necessarily optimize everything, but it does understand the different platforms. So what works on Meta might not work on Google, but having the Shopify backend enables you to just centralize everything and let all the different platforms optimize for the customers. Okay, so the main channels for Shopify, of course, the online store. Shopify POS is not really relevant, but it's still a feature that's available on Shopify. That's when you sell in person. And then B2B wholesale is also something else. But the point is, Shopify makes a lot of different channels available to you. The Shop app. So Shopify made their own, let's say, wallet for their customers. So they have a digital wallet, Shop Pay, and native to the Shopify. So that's on all Shopify websites. It's on the Shop app on your smartphone. And on this platform, because it's associated with your, let's say, credit card or email address, people that have not necessarily bought on your Shopify store will still be able to track their orders that they place on Amazon, for an example, if they use the same card or the same email address. Why is that important? Having your products on the Shopify app enables customers, let's say if they have the Shopify app or they paid with Shop Pay, to follow their orders on the platform. And when they're on the platform, you're able to push notifications to those customers because you put your products on the Shop app with Shopify. Yeah, of course, it's also a marketplace, so they can buy directly from you. Yes, of course. Okay, it's different social media channels. So of course, Meta is the biggest one. That's Facebook and Instagram. You can sync directly all your catalog directly on there. It also synced with the different advertising products that they have. So that's, again, super fun, because when you talk about advertising, your customer, their journey is not always linear. They might see your product from an ad that you did on Meta, and then they might search for your product on Google, and then they might find your Shopify store. So having all of that customer journey centralized into one place where Shopify tracks absolutely everything is crucial to knowing when your customer converts. So having Shopify connect with all those platforms and you making sure that all those settings and all those pixels are correct is crucial. But again, Shopify makes it super easy for you guys to do that. TikTok, YouTube, there's no TikTok shop, but again, if someone sees your product and not being an ad on TikTok, they see your product, they go on Google, they find you, that's still part of the journey. Okay, Google, again, Ghislain, he did talk a bit about Google, but super important. They have a marketplace. Google is still the biggest search engine ever. People use it all the time, even if it's specific or not. On the Shopify store, you can create campaigns, make sure everything is connected, follow the customer journey, have your Shopify listings on Google, have all the information pushed. And for an example, let's say that you have one item only available in the inventory in the Randmar warehouse. You can still market it on all those different platforms. And when the one unit is sold, it's gonna push, it's gonna be sold out basically on all the different platforms. So Shopify, really good centralized platform for e-commerce and making sure that you make the sale when it is there. What's left, huh? Okay. All right, after that, Amazon.
Acts as a central hub,
Oops.
making it easy to harness Google's massive reach. By integrating your store
It's
directly with
a
Google,
pixel,
you
so of course
automatically
it
sync
always
product
listens
listings,
to me.
run targeted campaigns.
Okay, all right. Sorry about that. Okay, so Amazon, eBay, Walmart, same thing. Those ones, it's not necessarily native to Shopify. You still have to, but there's a lot of different apps that connect to all those different marketplaces, able to push and pull information from all those platforms to make sure that you focus on doing the marketing and customer relationship and not the actual fulfillment, and making sure that the inventory and the descriptions and all the really boring stuff Shopify takes care of. Okay, so why use multiple channels? Like I said, customers are really modern. They don't trust you at first when they see your product. They need to see it across multiple different platforms before they become actual customers. So that means they discover you on TikTok, they search for the product on Google, and then they see your store and they buy. And you need to make sure that your store is optimized for that conversion. So centralized inventory. Oh, okay, I did already mention that. Beautiful. And after, we have unified analytics. So you can run reports, see exactly what platform is driving the most revenue, and then you can tweak your marketing budgets to optimize for that specific customer behavior. Okay, that was all, guys. Do you have questions?
I have one.
Yes.
When we're talking about platform integration, for example, last slide was Amazon v Walmart. Do we have to have an account, create an account for the business with them before we can proceed to platform integration?
So there's a bunch of...
Access to the marketplace, we have to create an account.
Attends, j'ai pas compris exactement. Ouais.
For our access, to have access to their platform,
Ouais.
platform integration, do we need to create an account?
Non, pas nécessairement. So you don't necessarily need to create an account when you install a third-party app, let's say for connecting to Amazon, because you're already connected to Shopify, that's your account. Yeah.
But you will need an account on Amazon, on eBay.
Oh,
on
correct.
Walmart.
That was my question.
Ah, okay.
Not because, there are apps, but the apps she's talking about,
They're
not,
connectors.
the marketplace app. It's
Right.
actually a third party that takes care of that. You don't
Exact.
have to create an account for that, but to integrate on eBay, yes, you will have on Walmart and all those platforms.
Yes. So these are connector apps. You still need to create accounts on those different marketplaces. The connection is really to push and pull the data. It's not necessarily to create accounts directly on those platforms.
The key though is you created your Shopify account. So take that as your main hub, your brain, your everything, because you're going to take that and replicate it on different marketplaces. But Shopify should still be your lead.
All right, thank you so much.
You need to own your own store.
Right, thank you.
Okay, beautiful. And while we're talking about Amazon, I'm going to ask John to come present because that's his key component. So thank you, guys. Let's see. Gonna set you up.